Welcome to Mindvine TV. Earlier today, we were graced by the presence of the Minister of Health and Deputy Premier Christine Elliott, along with the Solicitor General Sylvia Jones and our local MPP Lauren Coe, to make a great announcement today for funding to create 5 beds for women coming from corrections to be able to treat their mental illness. And I think that is such a great announcement from the province to change how we think about mental health care and serve those people in corrections that are often overrepresented, those people with mental illness that are in corrections. So this is a new unit that's going to open in late 2020 to serve that population. And we think we want to congratulate the province and thank them for investing and trusting us to deliver that care. And we look forward to opening that unit.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lauren Coe. I'm the MPP for Whitby and the Chief Government Whip. I'd like to welcome everyone here today. Mayor Mitchell, Mayor Whitby, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Appreciate it very much. Well, I'm so proud that Ontario Shores for Mental Health Sciences is located here in Whitby. This is a great facility. And this year, they're celebrating their 100th anniversary. Providing mental health and addictions care being offered here, and what an amazing achievement it is. I recently visited Ontario Shores with my Durham-based MPP colleagues, and I witnessed firsthand the tremendous work that frontline staff do day in and day out to make those living with mental health and addiction challenges lead more fulfilled and enriched lives. So thank you to all the staff that are here today for this announcement. Further, and this is important also, management and staff provide leadership to healthcare providers, community partners, policymakers, and social sectors to strengthen and advance the mental health care system here and in other parts of Ontario. They're truly innovators, in my view, and they understand the challenges, and this is key also, unafraid of seeking creative solutions. And what's clear to many people here in the town of Whitby and other parts of Ontario is that Ontario Shores is one of the preeminent facilities of its type in Canada overall. And that's why I'm so pleased to be joined here today by the Honourable Christine Elliott, the Minister of Health, and the Solicitor General of Ontario, the Honourable Sylvia Jones, who I have the pleasure of introducing. There's been many significant accomplishments over the past several months at Queen's Park, and I'm sure many of you are aware of those, all underscored by the dedication of my colleagues in caucus, including the Solicitor General of Ontario. First elected in 2007, she held several important critic roles. When the Progressive Conservative government came to power in June of 2018, she was appointed by the Premier as the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport, a position she held until November 2018. At that time, she became the Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services. And in April 2019, the Premier appointed her the Solicitor General of Ontario. Now, the Minister is a highly regarded resource for many of her colleagues in caucus, including me, and a well-regarded and respected member of our PC team, and most importantly, a good friend and mentor as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Solicitor General of Ontario, the Honourable Sylvia Jones.
Thank you, and thank you, Lauren, for that kind introduction. You know, Lauren is, how shall we say, the enforcer at Queen's Park. So he says kind words to me here in Whitby, but I can assure you, if you are not on schedule on time, it is Lauren that you have to speak to. I would also like to thank Christine Elliott, the Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, for joining us, and Ontario Shores for hosting today's event. The government is delivering on its promise to improve Ontario's correction system. Over 1/3 of women in Ontario's adult correctional facilities are identified as needing some form of support for a mental health issue. Most are treated in an institutional setting, with trained medical staff and supports in place to ensure they have access to the care they need. However, not all conditions can be treated within the institution or at a local hospital. Ontario needs acute care stabilization beds for inmates whose conditions are more complex. That is why today I am pleased to announce that my ministry has reached an agreement with Ontario Shores to open Ontario's first dedicated unit to help female inmates with acute mental health issues. We will invest $3.5 million over 2 years to open and support a 5-bed dedicated unit. This unit will provide specialty psychiatric hospital care for women in custody whose needs are too complex for general hospitals. It will provide gender-specific behavioral interventions, counseling services, psychological assessments, and culturally sensitive care. Ontario Shores has been helping people live with mental health illness for over 100 years. You know what you're doing, and you know how to get a dedicated unit up and running quickly. When the new unit opens in late 2020, female inmates who are suffering from serious mental health issues will have access to the care and the treatment they need. Until the new unit opens, Ontario Shores will begin accepting female inmates into their existing assessment unit as early as this January. The mental health and well-being of inmates is one of the greatest challenges facing Ontario's adult correctional systems. Treatment inside an institutional setting is not always an option or appropriate. The average length of stay for a female inmate serving a custodial sentence in Ontario is approximately 37 days. That offers us little time to fully assess an individual's mental health and determine an appropriate treatment plan within the correctional environment. Our partnership with Ontario Shores will ensure that for the first time in Ontario, female adult inmates with serious mental health conditions will receive the treatment they need in a secure and dedicated care setting. This is essential to provide the supports necessary for a successful reintegration back into the community. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. As always, it's a great pleasure to be here at Ontario Shores, and especially, I would say, today with my good friend and colleague, the Solicitor General, Sylvia Jones, as well as with your MPP, Lauren Coe. It's great to be here, and I do want to say that the Solicitor General does have a particular passion for mental health and addictions issues. We served together on the Select Committee for mental health and addictions together in 2009, so it's so wonderful today that she's able to be here today for this announcement. Thank you. But I also want to thank everyone here at Ontario Shores for the work that you do each and every day, for your dedication and your commitment to helping people facing mental health and addictions challenges. I applaud and I thank you very much for your help with every patient that comes into your care. I know that you serve each patient with the same level of dedication and commitment each and every time. But today's announcement of Ontario's first unit dedicating to helping female inmates who have acute mental health needs is a major step forward in our efforts to help these women. The reality is that individuals with mental health and addictions challenges are overrepresented in Ontario's correctional system. Through this new dedicated unit, Ontario will provide specialized mental health care for female inmates with complex needs and those who are in need of greater attention and support. It's a project that will provide the right level of support and care in the right space, and also helps reduce unnecessary emergency room visits, which is important to me in my capacity as Minister of Health. But the reality is the emergency department should be the last option for someone in need of care, not the only option. Indeed, investing in expanded mental health and addictions capacity is integral to our plan to end hallway health care. That's why during the spring, our government announced that we were investing an additional $174 million this year for additional mental health and addictions programs and services. And because it's really important that these services have stable, long-term funding, we are making this funding available each and every year. These investments are going directly into providing frontline care for patients and families who need these services the most. They are critical to our plan to develop a connected and comprehensive mental health and addictions plan. The people of Ontario have and always will be our priority and focus. And I know that all of us working together, and it is going to take all of us doing that, but we will be able to provide mental health and addiction services for all Ontarians. So thank you once again for hosting us. It's wonderful to be back here at Ontario Shores.
Thank you, Minister Jones, Minister Elliott, and our much valued and respected local and members of Parliament here for today's announcement. We are thankful we could work with government to create a much-needed service for this population. We know that those living with mental illness and addictions are overrepresented in corrections. We also know that their success in returning to society is largely related to the treatment they receive for their mental illness. Ontario Shores works with a variety of populations ranging from youth to seniors and provides exemplary patient care delivered through safe and evidence-based practices. Successful outcomes are achieving used best clinical practices and the latest advances in research. Patients benefit from a recovery-oriented environment of care built on compassion, inspiration, and hope. Ontario Shores, as you've recently heard, celebrated its 100th birthday this year. We have a long-standing track record in our community and the province of providing specialized mental health services to those who need us the most. Today's announcement of new funding for this dedicated 5-bed women's program builds on that 100-year legacy of helping patients achieve their recovery goals. Ontario Shores has a strong reputation for its interprofessional team of expert clinicians who provide the best care possible in a safe and healing environment. This service is no exception, and it will have a dedicated team from various disciplines, including nursing, psychiatry, pharmacy, behavior therapy, recreation therapy, and security. The team will work together to provide a recovery model of care that includes pharmacology, recreation activity, individual and group therapy, and the development of therapeutic relationships. While this may seem like a unique program for Ontario Shores, we have a strong history of providing both a secure and a therapeutic setting across all of our clinical programs, and we know the high-quality care that is customary at Ontario Shores will be extended to this service as well. We have enhanced care practices, security equipment, and the right infrastructure to ensure all those in our care receive their treatment in the safest manner possible. Everyone in our province, regardless of how they access the mental health care system, should be able to receive care when they need it, and this new program takes us another step closer to providing accessible mental health care for all. I'd like to thank the Honourable Sylvia Jones and the Honourable Christine Elliott for placing your trust and confidence in Ontario Shores to create this much-needed program for women who require mental health care in a setting like ours. I'd also like to thank our local MPPs for being here today for this very exciting announcement. All of us at Ontario Shores look forward to working with government, staff, and the stakeholders to bring this service to Ontario next year. Thank you for joining us today, and I wish each and every one of you a happy and healthy holiday season. Thank you.